Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Chris. This is my Zepbound journey and this is week 41 of my Wednesday weigh-ins. Every Wednesday I weigh myself since week 1, last week of February of 2025. And I started on 2.5 milligram Zepbound and I did 8 weeks the first 2 months. And then I did 24 weeks or 6 months of 5 milligram. And now I'm on week 9 at 7.5. And I'm hoping to just kind of hang out at 7.5 and not go above that. First of all, because it's more expensive as you go above that with the auto pen, not with the injectables. But I'm hoping to stay on this through the end of the year and then drop down to 5 or 2.5. And anyways, we'll see where that goes. But I weighed in today, Wednesday, and I am up 1 pound from the holidays, which is not terrible because it was a very fun holiday. I had my brother visiting from Southern California with my nephew who lives in DC, and they drove up here and we went to my daughter's house. They cooked a fabulous meal on Thanksgiving, and then we spent 2 or 3 more days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 more nights with my brother and nephew, doing fun things around here while they visited. So all in all, I'm not disappointed to have gone up 1 pound. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, my goal for December is to stay in Wonderland. I would actually like to stay in 180 land, and I'm at 185. I don't want to go above 190, but I will give myself the wiggle room if I tiptoe into that with all the Christmas cookies coming up. But there's a hard line at really 195 where I would just go back to eating chicken and water. I think if I got too close to going back up and going too much in the other direction. I'm feeling really good at this weight. My workouts are going pretty well, knock on wood. And just getting through the holidays, as you all know, this is my first holiday on Zepbound. Thanksgiving was my first big holidays because I started in February. I mean, we went through Easter, and that was the beginning, a couple months into starting it, and I was really afraid of what I was eating. I was really afraid to eat anything bad for you then. And so I didn't eat a lot of I didn't eat any desserts at that time. Now I'm a little more comfortable in taking Zepbound. I think it takes a while to know what works with your body. Like a lot of the things that work for me don't work for other people. And some things that work for you won't work for me. For instance, my daughter has a terrible reaction when she eats meat on Zepbound. She gets a real upset stomach. I went most of my journey was eating chicken, beef, hamburger, proteins, and vegetables, like non-starchy vegetables. Now I've changed that due to some bad cholesterol numbers and I can't even remember what the reading was, but my doctor was like, you need to bring your cholesterol down. He actually wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine, which I'm still not taking, but I've incorporated more fiber into my diet. So things that work for me, it's so funny. You talk to 100 people that are on GLP-1s or tirzepatide, Wegovy or tirzepatide, and they're all different. My daughter's on it. My son-in-law is on it. My brother is on Mounjaro. So my son-in-law is on Wegovy. My daughter is on Mounjaro now because she got switched to Wegovy, didn't like it, and begged to be put on Mounjaro and is now on Mounjaro, which is the same thing as Zepbound. Same factory line, same everything, just different labels. And my brother is on Mounjaro and his wife is on Wegovy. So it's very interesting how they decide to put different people on different drugs and why, and who gets it paid for. They all get it paid. And my sister, who is actually diabetic, is on Mounjaro. I think they all have it covered by insurance, except for, no, my daughter does now too. And I do not. I'm paying out of pocket and it hurts. And I use a coupon and I get it for like $6.50 now. But as soon as my coupon runs out, I'll be using the needle because it's $3.49, I think, for 2.5 through Eli Lilly Direct and $4.99 for any other size from them when you use the needle rather than the auto pen. Now that may change, it changes every month. That's what it is as of today. At any rate, it's interesting to talk to different people and what works for everyone and what foods work for them. I can drink coffee. I've always been able to drink coffee. It made me totally not want alcohol, whereas my brother can still drink. He can't drink as much, and my son-in-law can still drink. But it is in smaller quantities. Me, I have like no desire for it. So that's great. I mean, for me, it's a win because it's just empty calories and it interferes badly with my sleep. I think that's a combination of menopause and alcohol. Just really was not my friend the last couple of years. I mean, it was my friend. It made me very happy and relaxed at night, but it was not my friend lifestyle wise. So anyways, to get through the holidays, just gaining a pound made me thrilled. And if I can get through the holidays, staying in the 180s, I'll be thrilled. So my big thing lately that I wanted to talk to you all about was I'm looking at coming up with substitutions that taste as good as or better than the original, or substitutions that help in one way or another and are not disgusting. So, like for instance, I'm drinking this. This is the cold has made me a little bit hungrier. It's 33 degrees here and like icy rain today. It's frankly ugly outside. We had pretty snow while my brother was here, fluffy fat snowflakes, and then it melted after it was on the ground for an hour. But today is like icy rain. And so that has made me a little more hungry. And so this is half of a chocolate Fairlife shake, protein shake, and a golden caramel Nespresso mixed together. And it's delicious. It makes me feel like I'm drinking hot chocolate, but it's throwing in a little bit of protein. Now, as you know, I really do try to get my proteins from food like chicken, and like not protein powder can tend to upset my stomach. Kodiak pancakes have not worked for me. Things with pure protein powder don't always have not, and I haven't tried a lot of them, but the ones that I've tried have made me feel kind of ugh. So, but Fairlife does not do that to me. No, I'm not sponsored by Fairlife, but their chocolate Fairlife. I have a friend who runs the Dairy Queen down the street who actually has lost, I think, almost 200 pounds herself. And she originally, when she told me about it, said, I drink these chocolate Fairlife. She would put it in the Ninja ice cream maker. She'd freeze it and then blend it up. And she would put 2 tablespoons of sugar-free chocolate pudding mix in it. And she said it is the closest thing to like Dairy Queen ice cream. And it was, but now that it's cold, I wouldn't make that. But it's delicious. So it's equally delicious in coffee. And I could drink it by itself. Maybe I could heat it up. I mean, what I do is I have my hot coffee and I add the Fairlife and then I throw it in the microwave for a few seconds to warm it up. I don't know if it loses any of its protein power when you put it in the microwave. I don't think so. It doesn't make it taste funny anyway. So this is one of my substitutions, but I'm looking for like substitutions that get me through the holidays. And it was so funny. This morning I was driving to the Y with my husband and a comedian came on. We have Sirius Radio. So this guy, Al Park, who I had never heard of, was talking about, it's a bit called Vegans and Kale. My husband hates kale, so I turned it up and I wanted to hear what he was talking about. And he said he had gone to a nutritionist and he was trying to lose weight. So he went to a nutritionist, and the comedian tells it so much better than I do. I don't retell stories and funny. I always ruin the joke, but I want to give you the gist of it. He went to a nutritionist and she said, when you're really, really hungry and you just want a slice of pizza, and he said, yeah. And she said, just eat a bag of carrots. And so everybody in the audience is laughing. And I was like, and if you have ever dieted, and I have been on every diet, you know how true that is, that it's just, you can't just eat a bag of carrots when you want a piece of pizza. You can't. I mean, you can, and it does fill you up. But for me, I don't know about you, but for me, it really just kind of pisses me off. It's like, I'm full, but whatever it wasn't hunger. Maybe it was emotional. Maybe it was, whatever it is, whatever itch you're trying to scratch with that pizza does not get scratched with a bag of carrots. It just doesn't. Now, I love carrots. I love cooked carrots. I can't eat raw carrots because it gives me heartburn. Or it used to terribly, but I can cook them and eat them and roast them in oil. But it's true. Like, you kind of have to, even on Zepbound, like, listen to your body, and I'm better off if I kind of scratch that itch of something that, like, I wanted to eat in a more healthy version. So that's been kind of, as I've been going through this too, I feel like you can go on Zepbound and you cannot eat and you can lose a bunch of weight. But part of the real work of doing this and being able to, I think, sustainably keep it off is to find realistic substitutions for things that you love. And it's a search sometimes, but I feel like that's going to enable me to live my life in the future, not feeling like I'm on a perpetual diet and not enjoying my life. I enjoy food. And I say that a lot, and I get a lot of people in the comments that say, I don't enjoy food, I'm just trying not to eat. And that's cool. That's great. If that works for you, that works for you. But if you're like me and you enjoy food, you don't want the holidays to feel like you're missing out on everything and not enjoying yourself. And part of my enjoyment is eating food. And that's probably how I got up to 298 pounds. Yes, part of it was depression and emotional sadness over circumstances. I mean, I'm not going to negate that. But it was also the fact that I love food, and eating would make me feel better. So that's me. Maybe that's not you. Additionally, when I hit menopause, it's like I hit a brick wall in terms of when I would eat, and I do eat a lot of healthy food. I've always eaten a lot of healthy food, but I did also eat some junk food, more junk food than I should have calorie-wise, and gained weight. And so it's just, I want to create a sustainable life for a sustainable health plan. They say not to use diet. I still use diet. A sustainable diet that I can live with my whole life and not feel like I'm not enjoying myself. So I was looking up, for instance, I do make my cottage cheese pancakes. I made my chocolate mousse recipe, which I thought was delicious. Nobody would taste it at Thanksgiving. Really, my daughter's like running away screaming that she didn't want to taste cottage cheese mousse and wouldn't taste it. Now, my husband tasted it and said he loved it, and my son-in-law tasted it and said he loved it, but I don't trust him. I think he might have been being nice, but I thought it was amazing. My husband said it was amazing. And honestly, when you do substitutions and you've been on Zepbound for a while, probably, I mean, you develop, at least I have, eating less sugar. You can use less sugar in things and it tastes sweeter. Like your taste buds do kind of change. And so my substitutions, maybe to someone who eats sugar all the time, might not taste as delicious as it does to someone who doesn't eat sugar all the time. I don't know. But some ideas that I've been kind of mulling over and playing with in the kitchen are, I make cottage cheese pancakes on Sundays. And I made him while my brother was here. And my grandson, when he first came over and I said, I'm going to make cottage cheese pancakes. And he's 8 and he's like, I don't want any. He says that to everything, actually, till you make it for him. And I'm like, listen, I'll make them. I said, do you want chocolate chip pancakes? And I'm going to put cottage, I'm not going to lie. And I mean, I used to with my kids lie and sneak food in. I did. I would sneak grated zucchini in red sauce for spaghetti, and they would not, and it would almost dissolve in there when you grate it up. But I had to sneak vegetables in on them because they were kind of picky eaters. I never made special meals, but I would try to hide vegetables and things. So the cottage cheese pancakes I made for him, and he was very tentative. He really didn't want to taste it, but I did put chocolate chips in it, which I think is gross, but a lot of people like. And every time he comes to spend the night now, he asks for cottage cheese pancakes, which warms my heart. And it adds a lot of protein to your pancakes. And like I said, the Kodiak pancakes upset my stomach. I tried to eat them. They have a ton of protein in them. I don't know if it's the protein powder that they use, but like when I use 2% cottage cheese and blend it up with flour and eggs, a little bit of milk, a little bit of baking powder, and some cinnamon and vanilla, they're delicious. They're smooth. They are like real pancakes. They're fluffy. And then I add real organic maple syrup, and I add walnuts and cinnamon and a grated apple. So it really tastes like a dessert. So that's one of my substitutions, and it makes me feel on a Sunday morning like I've had a really delicious Sunday breakfast. And so that's one of my swaps. Another one that I did last year, it was actually before I was on Zepbound. I think it was not last summer, but the summer before, where I froze Greek yogurt, and I just used plain Greek yogurt on a tray in the freezer, and I topped it with berries and chocolate chips. And then you break it apart and eat it frozen, and it's like bark with yummy berries and chocolate chips in it. That's super healthy, and that's when I was trying to up my protein. Another one that I've seen floating around that I've done a lot of is you use a carb balanced tortilla, and you use it as like a pizza crust. And you can either add red sauce or a little bit of pesto, and then some low-fat mozzarella, and then any toppings that you like. And if you like thin crust pizza, it's a delicious alternative. So I've been doing that. And now I saw a recipe. I'm not really big into frappuccinos, but taking some iced coffee, and I always have coffee downstairs in the middle of the day. We drink a few cups in the morning, and then I don't clean the pot till the afternoon. Please don't judge me. I know that's gross, but I can use my cold coffee and it calls for vanilla Fairlife ice and some sugar-free syrup. What I would probably use in that is just like a little scoop of monk fruit, and you blend it all together, and that is a fake frappuccino. So that is on my list to try whenever I can find vanilla Fairlife, which I can never find. Costco only sells chocolate, not vanilla, and I can never find it at any of the grocery stores I go to. So that's kind of a bummer. But that's it. Those are my substitutions that I'm looking to eat this week. And again, I hope I said I gained a pound. I think I did. So I'm at 185. A couple of times I've gone through the video, and then I read my comments, and everyone says, well, what did you thanks for the video. What did you weigh? So that's where I'm at this week. And I am hoping to make it through the holidays in the 180s. Some of these substitutions should help. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hope the scale was kind to you. And I will be back next week with my Wednesday weigh-in. And I'll be back midweek with a recipe for the low-carb balanced tortilla pizza. So I hope you'll join me. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.